That'd be awesome.
I think it does. Save you.
There's surely the need. I own. Yeah, so you know how. I say it's so even if I don't get but I get the but I like and I can go no. That's and that was my favorite. You know, my son first. No, I have no actually.
How you doing, Judy? Very good. Good to see you. Did you have a good fourth?
Marie Brian comes to OPA Connects
Oh, yeah.
almost every week.
That's awesome. I bet you she'll appreciate that you're talking to her. She could probably hear you.
Knows everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You've been having a good couple, Sarah? All right.
Yeah, I'm healing.
Yeah.
I have healed.
Okay, that's good, yeah. Looks much better.
Yeah.
Did you want, oh, you wanted to share something? Is that what you're saying? Or just?
Notifications.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, what happened was, at the main street event there, wow, so it's in, it's in the.
Hearing thing, talked on the last, like I said.
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad they joined. This is Robbie. Yeah, it's good to meet you. There's gotta be another one. We usually send the iPad around. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll get it. We just gotta pick it up. So that's great. Thank you. I guess.
Fill it out every time they come.
In a perfect world, yes, but. He's doing a pretty good job, you know? Let's do this. Let's go back. So you live in the neighborhood? You live in the neighborhood? So really?
Would anybody come to that? What would they come to?
Sounds like a good yes.
Explain this to me. I mean, because I lived here 30 years ago, then I moved to the east side, then I just like house and I moved here. And I walk on Main Street, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's not that, I don't know, it's not me, so I actually said that. Why are they letting their landlords, I don't know what they're doing to it. So I go to my school, I go to Abbott Kinney. Listen, why is it lighting slowing down? Yes, they're like this.
I like it. I like it.
Like, that's important, that's why I keep it like, I species and now, conference, like everybody's, that's what fun is.
Yeah, you know, it'd be fantastic to get you involved. So, you know, just yeah, we have a board that's a set of 18 years. 3 days. We make it. Yeah, you can participate, and then anyone can, you know, step into that volunteer. Yeah, residents, I'm very much involved, and so,
Or I moved to Washington.
and so, yeah, just, you know, like, we share information about what's going on in the city, and then discuss it. Yes. Yeah. So I'm not very organized here, that's what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, once you sign it, if you want to pass it, we should get it going around the room. Yeah, that's exactly the idea, is to try to Get everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
And there's opportunities, help each other. Make it see different.
So is everybody signed in? If they signed in before?
Some people may not, yeah. Yeah, give her on.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Our reminder. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. We'll get started right on time today. Excited to have everyone here. If I haven't met anyone, I'm Robbie. All right, yeah, there we go. I'm Robbie. If I haven't met anyone, I'll be the MC tonight. And tonight we have a couple of the regular folks. We've got police department. I think we're gonna get the fire department. They'll be strolling in here. And then we have a lot of Main Street focused topics that we're going to cover. Some exciting things going on around the farmers market. Carla's here. If you haven't met her, we'll give her an opportunity to say hello, as well as a couple other things. So right off the top of the bat, before we get started, if there's anybody new in the room that wants to just quickly stand up, say hello, you're more than welcome to do so. I feel like we don't give that opportunity. I also don't want to put anybody on the spot. If you're new and you want to say hello, now is the time. All right, yeah, get started. Okay.
I've been for a while. I'm enjoying this program number. Coming up for cash, and I own property in San Mark area, and it's nice to be here. Thank you.
I'm not new, but long time volunteer by Christie from Holy Walk.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'm Adrian and I lived here 32 years ago, but then I moved to the east side. Now I just moved back here. And I'm very interested in the difference, how it looked a long time ago versus how it looks now. I moved here literally because there's a street called Main Street, which is one of my favorite things ever all over the United States. And I really feel that it's missing a couple of things, so I want to hear what you guys are all about.
Thank you.
And get active.
I'm Kayla. Dan. I recently in the neighborhood, I've been here this year, and been here for a couple of years. But one thing I like about the community so far, walking around, everyone's very friendly, it feels very community. I'm from a small town outside Sacramento, so it's just nice to feel like homey already. And so thanks for having us. I want to get more involved in the community, meet people around here, and just for the root and be here.
Special project Danny who helped set up for the music day.
Welcome all. Anybody else? All right, well, we'll get started. Maybe it's helpful if you're a board member, if you just want to raise your hand really quick, so there's new folks, if there is a time later in the evening to say hello, yeah, you can do so. All right, we'll start it off with our friends from Santa Monica PD.
Hello. One that you know, and those of you that are new, welcome. I'm your neighborhood resource officer. My name's Officer Carol. Since you're new, here's a magnet. It has our non-emergency line on it. It's on your refrigerator or what have you. If you have any questions, and it's something that's non-emergent, like for instance, if there's a homeless person at the corner, not really bothering anyone, you want them to get some resources, want someone to come out, watch them, they've been there for a while, you're concerned, you can call a non-emergency line. If it's a 911, you're feeling threatened, call 911. You're new?
Yeah.
Are you sure? No, it's okay. That I'll ask is Crime Dashboard. We talked about this, we went over a whole thing on how to use it. And I will get you guys connected with the Dashboard if you don't already know what that is. It's an online service that you can use, you can go and check the crime stats in the city, you can narrow it down from your neighborhood, your street. If you guys have any additional questions about the crimes that you see that are going on there, you can always email me and I can give you more information. Who has used the Crime Dashboard since I last been here?
Say it again.
Who has used the Crime Dashboard since the last time I've been here?
Sean.
Same people. You have one of these, you want one.
I'm good.
No. You're good. You have used it and you want one, I will. You want one. Okay, I have a question. You have these. Holy guacamole.
Thank you.
We got the owner here, right? What kind of beans do they use in their burrito? Pinto, black, or kidney? Pinto. Wrong. Black.
You actually know.
I do know, and I learned this today. Where did she go? Tina, what kind of beans do they use? Tina. Kidney beans. Kidney beans, no way. And they use them because they have a lot of protein.
And they have another
Right.
flavor, they have a great profile for taste.
And
I
flavor.
think.
And flavor. I've only had one burrito years ago, but.
I love it. So as you can see here, before Isabel came to the unit, I tried to work on it for a while. I'm the neighborhood resource officer for Main Street, pretty much that's the only section of OPA that I have. Cause I go to Second and I stop. Isabel has the east side of Second, I have the west side of Second, when everything else is B2 for the most part. But as you see, we came in early. We wanted to change the relationship that we have with you as a group. Of course, we'll take all your complaints, concerns, or whatnot, but we love interacting. We want you to get to know us because we're the representatives of the police department, but we also want you to get to know us as people. So that you feel more comfortable when you have an issue or something that is occurring. So that's why we're reaching out, coming in early, we're sitting down, we're talking to you, because we just don't want it to be e-bikers getting crazy, fix it. As you sit down and you talk to me, you realize I got a lot to deal with to fight the e-bikers. It's a whole big old statewide issue that nobody really wants to attack. And so when you sit down and you know that I am one personable, two straightforward, when I get up here, I don't know. You will.
That's funny. This is recorded, right?
Yeah, there will be no disbelief of if we're telling the truth. That's why we need to get to know each other, so that we have a relationship that's not just based on us getting in front, telling you something that we want you to believe. We want you to believe what we tell you, because we come here with the design to tell you the truth. So we have State of the City that's gonna be coming up in your backyard, gonna be hosted here on Main Street. I will be here, I'll be driving, one of my secondary duties is to drive our mobile command post, which is the very, very big truck looking satellite mobile home thing. So I'll be driving that out here, and then our unit will be tabling for State of the City. Then we have our August 4th event, which is National Night Out. I'll be the project manager for this event. And everything that you see that is amazing and beautiful will be done by my partner here, which our theme is gonna be lights, camera, community. So it's gonna have a Hollywood theme. So just think red carpet, lights, camera, and our units will be representing the movie that they've selected. So it should be very fun, very interactive. Free burgers, popcorn, ice cream, and some sparkling water. And
Where is this?
this will be in front of City Hall,
Oh.
1685 Main Street.
5
So,
to 8.
yeah, so it's on a Tuesday, 5 to 8,
And I'm sorry, what's the date?
August 4th.
Thank you very much.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, so please, if you've never come to one before, please come out. are you guys tabling?
Yes.
You guys are tabling, so we have a community section that Isabel is working on to.
It's way better than any other year. I'm in charge.
Yeah. So it's gonna be very fun, very interactive, and I think that was one, there's two. And then we'd like to discuss anything that you would like to discuss.
Just a little note, last time I talked about the catalytic converters, and we had our crime impact team work on that, so they have reduced since the last time that we've talked. And also the 4th of July weekend, we had about a little over 40% of proactive stops, meaning our police officers initiated those things. So they didn't wait for crime to happen, they went out and found things and stopped crime from happening. So a little over 40%, that's big time. We had about 98 arrests. It was a really good week, to say the least. Busy, but we kept a lid on it just so that you guys are aware.
Can you remind us what the name of the mobile command center is?
The official name or what do you?
What's the name, sir?
Command post?
In CP, what they call it, Optimus Prime.
Optimus.
Optimus Prime. That's his like nickname.
So what do they call the guy that drives Optimus?
He's just the guy that drives Optimus.
We need to give you a name now.
But I'm not the only guy that drives it, so it's a cadre of about 12 people. It ranges from police officers to professional staff, so our traffic service officers drive it, our public service officers also drive it along with the cadre of officers. So and the reason why we do a multi disciplinary when it comes to driving it, because we may need a lot of police to do certain things so that our support staff are able to backfill certain positions so that we don't always have to have police officers. They may need to go knock down the door like Officer Tago or have a SWAT team call up, so we can't have everybody dedicated to the police side. This young lady had a question over here.
Yeah, so I have a question. So as a, I'm a mom and pop shop, right? And I own property here in this country, I'm not there in the city. I'm obviously not a big developer. And one of the questions I've had a lot from the tenants is, how safe is this neighborhood? Again, on my participation part. And I'm just curious, from your perspective, what would the messaging you would want me to carry on representing an authority here in the city?
I think.
I tell people it's safe, right? There's a lot of crime of opportunity. There's gonna be crime everywhere. So in comparison to neighboring cities, we're pretty safe. The thing that sets us apart is our response time. So if you call and you have a serious 911 call, someone's breaking into your home, you're being assaulted, you are gonna get an officer out there, or at least a drone, within seconds. The drone, we have a real-time crime center. We have drones that fly from our station or a fire station off the roof to your home to get there and see the layout of your home or business way before officers can respond. So the opportunity that affords us is just a quick response. It's way different than LAPD, and I'll let you talk on that, because he came from LAPD, so he could tell you level of service and how quick we arrive rather than.
So I'll tell you two things. One, that if you drive to LA, which we've ordered, on the West LA side and the Pacific side, you drive a block and a half, you look to your right and left. Once you don't see the gold strip under the signs, you can see it looks dramatically different. You have campers and all kinds of things that don't look like Santa Monica. So that's your first clue from being over there in West LA near the VA hospital or just driving here on Rose. So it's not hard to see what the difference looks like. Also, if you happen to be, or someone happens to be a victim of crime, our investigation here are very, very thorough. If you look at our follow-up for any of our cases, the detectives go through all levels to apprehend the suspects if it should occur, which you would say, well, it already occurred. We want that reputation because the streets talk. Oh man, went to Santa Monica. And we'll go to LA, we'll go to Palmdale, we'll go to Victorville to pick you up after you've done wherever you've done. We'll fly to Chicago.
Okay.
To
That happened. That really happened.
to pick you up. And so I say that to say that it doesn't just stop with us taking a report. We respond, we take a report, suspects are outstanding, we go far away. And then if you go out of the country, we will contact the US Marshals and we will work it that way. So we try to leave no stone unturned compared to when I was at LA for 15 years. Some of those detectives are carrying 70 cases. It's hard to track 70 cases as one person. And so we don't have that kind of caseload or backlog here. So it helps us be very efficient at dealing with it. But the look of we're trying to do really good, working with Public Works and Fire Department and all those other agencies. Huh? Oh, yeah, just put it, give it 30 seconds and sometimes people.
Just so I am Dan again. I'm a DA downtown. And I have a ton of friends who are DAs at the LAX courthouse. And anytime they see that they have a case, where the investigating agency is Santa Monica, they get stoked. Because they know how thorough it's gonna be, they know everything's gonna be tied, the case is gonna be handed to them with a nice little bow on it, so.
Yeah, that was the hardest part, is lateral here, when we would write reports. They would, in Santa Monica, they want all this extra information on that.
The color of the.
Yeah, like, what do we compare, we're getting ready for a murder case, like, insane. So I don't like to talk trash about LA, because I came from there. But we write better, longer, more thorough, reports, so it goes to help you guys over there, and even though I feel that's not like CCD, but. I mean, because you're dealing with such high levels of crime, so the practice is a little, and it starts with time. CC over here, it's like 30, might get started. Okay.
So I just came from LA, I mean, that's where I live. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't talk trash about it. But I just feel, and that's why I moved to Santa Monica, you have your own police department, you have your own fire department, it's like, it's cool. But when you, so in other words, I haven't tried it yet, but if I call 911, you're saying somehow or another it gets directed to, it's not the you call 911 LA, they don't come for like, they call you, hold on, like I'm having a heart attack, hold on. No, that doesn't work.
No.
So like you're saying that somehow or another it senses that we're here calling you and it goes to the Santa Monica.
Yeah, we'll go directly to us.
Pardon me?
The cell phone tower will direct it
That's
to,
exactly what I'm saying.
yeah, it will direct it to us.
Good to know.
Yeah, so your landline, of course, will, but the technology is enough where even by street, unless you're on the freeway,
Mhm.
it's 9 times out of 10 coming to us. And just to give you, our communications went to LA's Communications Valley Center, which is the one that answers all the West Side calls. And they have like 8 people, 8 911 call takers for all of Valley and West. We have about 5 call takers just for the city of Santa Monica. So,
In addition to the call, and response time is like seconds with the drone.
It is,
So
depending on what type of call, because they still triage, right, depending on the type of call, but.
they say, hold on when you call that.
Right, can you hold,
On
yes,
the
no?
northeast side, yeah, just hold on.
Yeah,
yeah,
we don't do that here, and whenever the call is generated by dispatch, our real-time crime center has those calls before dispatch. Sisters, so if they're able to, they'll fly the drone to the actual location before the officer even gets the call.
Senses where you are.
yeah, your beat plan for West LA is, their command is 180 people. We have 221 people, but that's, your division was 63 square miles, we're 8.3 square miles. So it's a huge difference between West LA and Santa Monica, just by sheer ground to cover. They're going all over from the Palisades.
That's just Highland Park, that's like a whole.
Oh, well, Highland Park is northeast, but you still, all of the avenues, there's probably, I think, 365,000 people that live there.
Yeah.
So we're a city of 83,000, so we have a lot more to give. We're like the boutique niche version of, because we're afforded to, because we have this tax base that allows us to do this. And so when you live in a big city like that is, it's a little bit more difficult to provide that type of service. So all big cities have the same problem.
Maybe one more question.
When I called the police last, I've never had this happen before where they actually sent me a text message, which was a follow-up. And so is this something new that's happening? And it's just kind of like.
2.5 years ago, we initiated a text response.
Yeah.
To some of it. There's some good things that go along with it. There's some bad things if it's serious or you think it's very serious and someone sends you a text and says, we're still going to be responding. I think we've tried to work out a lot of kinks in that area because it seems a little insensitive to get a text to say, okay, the cost time may be a little prolonged. Where that was.
How long ago was that?
Like 3 days ago.
Yeah, and so it's good if you have a report call or something like that, but if it's it may have been triaged incorrectly. And sometimes people feel like it is insensitive. I think it's a good thing, but I'm saying there's some shortfalls.
I think it's a good thing
Yeah.
too, but the other thing too is because like, it was something that happened at 3 o'clock in the morning. And so, 3:45, I said, if you don't have to come, like based on whatever your guys' needs are.
Yeah.
For me, well, it had all stopped at 3:45, so I was like, carry on, what I mean? So.
Because you're a nice responder. Sometimes we'll get there
I sometimes-
27 minutes later and they're like, you didn't come. So I was over and why didn't you call back? I didn't know I was supposed to call back.
I do suffer from toxic kindness. So.
Oh, well, ever since I met you, which was only about 27 minutes ago, you've been great.
Thanks so much for coming, guys. We're excited for National Night Out. So, we'll see you guys then.
Bye, Gingers.
All right. Is anyone on the phone from the fire department? No? Last call for anybody from the fire department on the Zoom? All right, I think we'll keep it moving then. Really quickly wanted to introduce John Erickson. John stopped by the OPA booth at the Solstice. And I said, John, you're welcome to spend a couple minutes and introduce yourself. He's running for state senate. We've gone over this a few times, but anyone that's not in a city election can come introduce themselves briefly. And we're welcoming of getting to know our those that are running for office. So, thanks, John.
Where is these owls always terrify me, because they're always like following you.
Yeah.
I'm pointing out these new city meetings and I'm like, it's like, ooh, it's quite terrifying. If you cough, they will go right to you. Hi, everybody, I'm John Erickson. You probably got sick of me on your YouTubes and in your mailboxes. I had blonde hair and objectively super gay features from crypto AI billionaires that ran, I think, $10.6 million in attack ads against me, but we finished in first in the primary to be your next state senator to replace Ben Allen, who's turned out in the race. I'm a council member in the city of West Hollywood, your little raucous neighbor just a little bit to the east over there. But I've been on the council since 2020. I've really focused on business development, community safety, mentioned neighborhood night out, one of my favorite nights of the year. We have 14 neighborhood watch groups in West Hollywood and only 1.9 square miles. And if you don't stop at every one of them, they hold it as a personal grievance. So I got my walking shoes all ready for that, but we're going to be all over the district doing it. So I'll make sure I stop by in Santa Monica. But really running, as a tried, true elected leader who wants to take kind of the knowledge that we have down here locally and hopefully bring some of that brain trust up to Sacramento where we need a lot of it, whether that's supporting small businesses, public safety, fire, making sure our schools are that local government has enough funding and economic prosperity to give back to the residents, the neighborhood associations, and all the work that we got to do. And as we know, what's going on in Washington right now is impacting us here in every way, shape, and form, from healthcare cuts to cuts all over the board, where the state has to play an oversized role these days. And so I really bring about that practical policymaking experience. When I was mayor of West Hollywood had a $31 million budget surplus. I know in Santa Monica, things have always been a little tight recently, but I'm really happy, to make sure that we can do all that we can as a state to help our local cities thrive and flourish. So that way you get more, what'd you call them, John? The Optimus Prime? Top Primes? Sure. You mentioned drones. We just started that. We have the sheriffs in West Hollywood. We don't have our own police department. We're a contract service city. But really proud to be endorsed by teachers, firefighters, nurses, labor. I'm a former labor president in AFSCME myself. People like Judy, right over the South, Glean, Ted Winterer, other local electeds from Santa Monica who are endorsed. But Lindsay Horvath, Hilda Solis, Janice Hahn, a lot of people, so regional connections. And I serve on the Santa Monica Bay Restoration Commission for the West Side City's COG, right? And I really want to make sure that we're protecting our coastline, doing all that we can to preserve all the beautifulness out of Santa Monica. Something that people don't know is I lived in Santa Monica for a few years after I came back from grad school. I lived at 20th and Olympic right by Santa Monica Brew Works for 2 years. And I started as an intern at the city of West Hollywood and was driving that way back and forth for a couple of years, which almost nearly took years off of my life. And so I decided to move there when I found my rent control department, which I still live in to this day. But I really have a special bond with Santa Monica. It's the first place I moved to when I came back from New York in graduate school. And so I love it here and I really look forward to talking more to you. I actually have a bunch of business cards, so I'll leave them here. And as Judy and John will attest to, that is literally my cell phone. So I use it. I mean, I called 20,000 residents in West Hollywood in 2020 and 2024 because I love talking to residents. So if you have a question or if I can answer something more that you have or need more, want to talk about other priorities from your neighborhood or stuff that I can help with, please just give me a call or shoot me an email, and that's it. Yes, sure.
Some of the things you talked about at the state level and the national level, had to do with cuts and particularly around healthcare. We think, we're gonna be a lot of vulnerable people in Santa Monica, right? They're gonna be, I think, competing with the services and housing type of use. Can you talk about that a little bit? You don't see coming.
Oh, God, I see. Well, we've cut mental and behavioral health to the point where it doesn't exist anymore, right? And our community health-based center clinics are usually the first line of defense for a lot of healthcare cuts. So we're not seeing people with the flu or common colds going to ERs and increasing wait times. I was the vice president at Planned Parenthood for 8 years, Planned Parenthood Los Angeles. And so really funding community clinics and community healthcare centers like St. John's and others that can serve a basic vulnerable population, allow the hospitals and other areas to actually use, in some cases, the limited staffing that they're having, to actually go out and provide actual care. Because as we probably all know, and you probably have friends, surgeries, appointments, everything get canceled day of, sometimes within a few hours because of these things. And we need to make sure that HR1 cuts, the big, ugly, horrible bill, or whatever we call it now, whatever they were calling it, right? Is going to have disastrous effects on Kaiser, if you go to Cedars, and if you have a private healthcare doctor. And those impacts actually haven't even really been felt just yet. And so the state has to not only expand Medi-Cal and Medicaid to make sure that our vulnerable populations are getting the care, but also reinvest in behavioral and mental health-based programs, because with homelessness continuing to rise, we want to make sure people are getting the actual care that they need and we can address it day of. And there's a lot of programs that in the statewide budget are going unfunded or underfunded that I've used in West Hollywood to create our behavioral and mental health crisis response teams that help kind of take away that pressure on the system that is LA County and the healthcare complex right now. So there's a lot of work that we can do and should be doing. I don't know, faster. Yeah.
We actually, that's gotta be it for now, but really appreciate the time.
Call me or text me or anything.
And yeah, man, thanks. The cards are right up here, guys. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I was gonna have, so the next topic on the docket, and Carla, if you're open to it, I'd invite you to talk a little bit about kind of like what's coming on the 23rd, I'll put it on the spot here, the 23rd of August. But we do have, some exciting things coming with the farmers markets.
Can I just adjust everybody from here?
Sure.
Yeah, so it's an opportunity to test out a theory that, what happens if we go from the parking lot to the street. So I think a lot of people know that the Victorian is going through some major changes and we're kind of looking for a new home. So the most logical thing to do would be to just go right straight front and set up shop. So I think it's an exciting opportunity. It's also daunting at the same time. We're looking at some bigger expenses by being out in the street, but nothing I think that's insurmountable. I know that there are a lot of people in this community that are super excited for the opportunity, and I know there's a lot that have their reservations too. So I don't have the opportunity or the power to make decisions and to change the direction that we've already gone. So just that, you know, I'm not the one to talk to if you have issues with what we're doing. That would be, you know, city manager, city council. They've all agreed that this is the direction to go. But I'm, you know, happy to talk about our plans for the immediate future.
Yeah, and I did not a great job of introducing Carla, but she's responsible for the awesome farmers market on Main Street. And yes, if now would be the time, I think, that if anyone came to the meeting wanting to talk about this move, I think we could talk about why it's being put into motion, if there are concerns or things that people want to make sure that we keep in mind as it makes the move. Like, it's all getting put together now, so this would be the time, right?
Are you saying that the Sunday farmers market is moving into the street? Is that what you said?
Correct.
I mean, Palm Springs does it every Thursday night. It's mobbed. It's fabulous, actually. So, I mean, are you gonna spread it out or just keep it in?
Just that one block is that's the original plan that we have for August 23rd is just a proof of concept. It's for one day only. So we move out to the street and then we reassess afterwards what worked, what didn't work. What do we need to do differently next time, just to get prepared for when the Victorian starts to do their construction.
Oh, that's why you have to do that.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, bigger picture, Victorian is doing a massive, I think, multi-year remodel, turning into a private members only club. The farmers market is losing access to that parking lot, whether we like it or not, like that's stuff.
Who's there a date for that?
Depends on, I think it depends on what coastal commission, when the city's already given the thumbs up, I think they're waiting on coastal. I think they were targeting end of the year, give or take.
Yeah, there are certain things that the lawyers are doing.
Yeah, that's way bigger than any of us.
So it'll go from Ocean Park to
Hill.
Yeah, it's like fun.
I think I saw two hands.
Well, and at Main Street, this is the thing that's unique about our particular farmers market is we have retailers from Main Street participate in the farmers market. So we have a request to actually, you know, for 18 years, we wanted to close the street for solstice. And we were always told we couldn't because we had a fire department on the side of the street. So after 18 years of asking, I would love that the city said, hey, we'd like to close the street for the cyclovia. And we thought, what a great idea, let's try and see how that goes. So then, of course, the next year when we said, well, we'd like to turn at that, they said, well, you can only do half the street. So I said, well, if we do half the street, next year, can we do all of the street? So we would actually love, our concept is to have the Little Main Street be north of Ocean Park up to Serve Liquor. So there's some north of Ocean Park and what Carla said, because that's, you know, for the farmers in the park that she oversees. But we'd even like to have some activation like that we do when we do Day of the Dog or, you know, summer solstice type of things. So that there's a sense on both sides of that, you know.
But we have to keep Ocean Park Boulevard.
Ocean Park will always be open. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of, I feel like I mean, I went to summer solstice, personally, I thought it broke it up.
Right, and the same way, like how they do over, you know, there's streets in Santa Monica that already does, when they do a farmer's market, there are certain streets that are open, you know, around, and people get familiar with the routine about getting around the Ocean Park will be good.
Yeah, so that's an interesting idea. thanks for sharing it with us, and, you know, that could be interesting to explore. Go ahead.
Just one thing about what Anthony said and then something else.
Yeah.
There's always been sort of a little schism in Main Street merchants. The Ocean, North Ocean Park feels a little bit, you know, like a stepchild. And South of Ocean Park, you know, we've always been busier, actually, until the farmers market. But so we're, as merchants, we're a little bit sensitive about having on both sides of Ocean Park. But, and that's just a little history for you, but I have a couple of questions about the whole Victorian thing and the farmers market. Because, you know, I'm a businessman, I'm always looking at stuff, I never saw the property, where the Victorian says as being on the market. I mean, maybe the city put out an RFP or something, but I didn't see it go on the market, it's public property.
It wasn't sold, it's the existing operators, renegotiated their deal with the city. It went in front of city council, there was open hearings about it, there was extensive discussion at the city council meetings about it.
Okay.
I don't think there was any discussion, it's on the consent calendar. It was not discussed, I mean, that's what I think, you know, one of the things about that background, it is on city property. And when all those things moved there in 77, there you had a 50-year lease. And
Which means that they've got a new one coming up next year, and apparently they got it.
It came up this year, so the people over Victoria had 50-year lease, it expired this year. They went to the city council, and those people who owed the city $250,000 in fees they hadn't paid, went to the city council. Not the city council, the city manager, discussed with anybody, it was never put on the agenda, it was never agendized, it was never discussed. And then.
I believe that sounds correct, because.
Yes, and then the city council put it on the consent calendar with no discussion, it was passed. That they were getting, and I think, you know, at the time in 1977, this community pushed and pushed to get that to be some community services. That's why the Heritage Museum is there, because they wanted some public serving space. And I went to the coastal commission, and the coastal commission made sure they had parking over there. Area, it's free parking for the, you go park over there and say, you know, the Heritage Museum, you can park there. Now, without any discussion, and just put on the consent calendar, hidden, which seems to be typical of the city council, is suddenly we're told it's gone.
Okay, so OPA was never asked for an opinion on this, or
No,
OPA never issued an opinion on it?
Right.
It's the first time I'm learning that that's how it was handled personally.
Right.
I don't know if anybody else heard differently.
I'm personally not fond of the idea of taking public property. I mean, the Victorian is, even if you've got a restaurant like mine or anybody else, it's, the public is welcome. And if you don't let them in, you got discrimination problems. Now they're gonna take this public property and make it a private beach club. I got problems with it. Does OPA have a problem with this? Has anybody discussed it?
This is the first time we've.
The reality is that, what can we do? The city made a decision on property that it owns, put in the landlord that it wanted. What are you asking for? I mean, it's, what do you think we can do
Well, I think if
now that
there's
it's done?
discussion,
We could.
I think you can get a lawyer and say there's no discussion.
We're not suing the city for any reason.
It doesn't have a lawyer,
We're not suing the city.
it's not suing, it's, you know, there's questions.
We're not,
Yeah.
we're not gonna.
Do you speak for the entire board?
Me?
Yeah.
Let's put it to a vote later. I think nobody here would be interested in challenging the city legally to do that.
What if they violated their own laws? What if they violated their own? Then maybe the city attorney. And you don't help you.
Guys, there are a couple more hands. I think it's good that we're having the conversation, and let's.
Simple question.
Yeah.
Is there a timeline for this? Is there a timeline for when the farmer's market will close, where it is, and come to the street?
I think Carla mentioned something.
Well, we have our August 23rd date. Yeah, that's when we will have the proof of concept, the one day where we go to the street and then we're back to the park. Nothing has been fully finalized with the lease with the Victorian. We don't have a timeline. I keep in constant contact with the general manager and he doesn't know. I think, you know, they're still trying to get information on their side so that they can move forward. And we're
And there's more that the city needs to do to make sure it's done in a safe and legal manner on the street, because they're gonna be shutting down the street for a few hours. So there needs to be signage, there needs to be ballards to protect from
Yeah.
stupid people doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Lots of things that the city also needs to do. So I think it's contingent on when the Victorian breaks ground and when the city feels comfortable and confident that they can be done in a safe way.
Yeah,
I think the estimate is November, December, but that's literally just an estimate.
The farmers market is very important to a lot of us residents, and we really appreciate having it. We don't want to see it go. Moving it onto the street is going to cost money. Every Sunday that it's there, it's going to cost money. And it's also going to affect the neighborhood because it's going to divert traffic onto the residential streets, which is something that hasn't been taken into consideration before. But the expense of closing the street Sunday after Sunday is going to add up. And at the moment, the city is struggling financially. So how long is that going to last? Are we going to lose the farmers market altogether if this put into practice?
My understanding is that it's a permanent change. That is never going back into the Victorian parking lot. Those days are gone. Like Victorian is evolving into something new and it's going to be on the street. My personal opinion, not speaking on behalf of the board, I'm excited for it. I think it has an opportunity to grow its footprint, to grow its exposure, to grow its awareness. And as Anthony was talking about, potentially grow the footprint and turn this into more of an event and a weekly happening for the neighborhood. I'm personally, not on behalf of the board, I'm personally super excited for this. To see what the next chapter of our farmers market could be. As far as the money, I believe some of that was baked into their deal with the Victorian, but I don't know.
Well, okay, but every time Main Street is closed, then all the traffic gets sent into the neighborhood, sent onto Second Street, which is a very narrow street, sent onto Third Street and up to Fourth Street. And these streets, we've been pleading for years to have speed bumps and to get some safety. These are residential streets, and I would like to see OPA get behind that effort. I really would, because we've really tried to get some safety on our streets. And, pushing all that traffic, Main Street is a thoroughfare. And having these repeated closures against Main Street, it's very congested. Waymo and everything else coming down Third Street to paved with.
So I live on Nielsen Way. We have a real problem with traffic. I never had anyone, my entire life I've lived here, from Second Street, from Third Street, from Fourth Street, said, can I help you with that problem?
Well, you're blocking off traffic, you're creating.
So I am in process, right? We are in the process of talking to the city about the way traffic circulates.
Let me ask you.
Hold on, it is a long-term process to make that happen because all of our streets are tight together. Nielsen Way is an illegal street. It is not ADA compliant. We have asked twice. And the council voted twice if the staff would do something. So something's coming. So that means most likely Nielsen Way is gonna be one lane in each direction. That's coming, right? Because the street is not ADA compliant. Talk about lawyers, that can happen. So you can see they're all tied together, so we're trying to figure out how to do with all the other streets. It's a challenging situation because the streets here are really usable. Right? You can't take Third Street, right, runs into the incline on Ocean Park, it's a tough problem to solve. So we're trying to do that. We also had closed Main Street in the past. We measured traffic, we measured parking, we measured noise, we measured all sorts of stuff, especially the first times we did it. And all the things you talked about did not happen. We heard the same complaints and nothing changed. So I don't believe that diverting traffic is gonna make the quality of life work. I don't believe it's going to be more dangerous because we've already shown that it's not. And I think ultimately, the cost of money, right, that you talked about, we worked really hard to make sure, and this took place over the course of 10 years, that there were no costs involved, and we actually have a strategy that we can enact that makes money. So that's what we're doing.
May I just ask you, who are we?
The board.
Yes, okay, well, maybe you and I can talk about this and the audience is about this.
Sure, I'm glad to talk to you about
Let-
it.
let-
John's one of the biggest advocates for.
Can I hit-
slow down traffic.
Yeah.
I cannot stand the way people drive through this town.
Okay.
I have walked the streets with the assistant city manager. We're gonna start repainting crosswalks. We're gonna start putting in pedestrian activated crosswalks. It just takes time.
And
So it's-
let's keep the comment, there's
Thank you.
other folks that wanna, yep, Mitch, good.
You have alternatives. I mentioned it last time. For this farmer's market without impeding, traffic. And when I say impeding traffic, you're, if you wanna put it out on Main Street, that's a limited space where cars cannot go any longer. That creates, lending toward traffic congestion and also going through the neighborhoods. Now, who are we representing here at this group? Are we representing the commercial interests or the residents? That's a big question. And when you go before to the city manager, try to implement this farmer's market on the street, are you representing the OPA? You three people?
No,
I'm saying, let me finish, I'll give you some alternatives without getting rid of without impeding traffic. You have the parking lot, the city parking lot. You have, different parks throughout the city and you have one right behind City Hall.
yeah.
I mean,
those are
you
good
can do
ideas.
this without, closing off the street. So why do you want to close off the street to impede, traffic?
That's what we're talking about.
That's a big
All right.
question.
Yeah, go
But I
ahead.
want that answered.
Well, we're talking about it. I'm just one member of
You're
this
part of
group.
you're part of this we group. There's three of you that have gone before to the city manager to try to do this. And I don't know, and I asked you if you have been representing OPA when you do that. You three.
Just the context I had was that the farmer's market was moving and I have been having conversations about what that would look like for Main Street to capitalize on an opportunity to make it a resident friendly event. And that's why we're having this conversation,
Let
like,
me ask you this, so you're talking like,
so this-
when you went before the city manager. did you
I didn't go to the
represent
city manager.
OPA?
what was that?
When you went before the city manager.
We're having the conversation now, Mitch.
I assume you went before the city manager, you told me that. Did you, when you went before the city manager, did you represent yourselves as representatives of?
OPA, but that was Main Street stuff. That was the closed entertainment zone and the Main Street events. Yeah,
You
go
didn't
ahead.
answer it, baby.
What do you mean?
I said, did you represent
The
yourselves?
farmer's market wasn't on the table at that point. Go ahead.
Gonna say that I personally, resident, am excited about farmers market going out into the street. I think it's gonna be great. That's my personal opinion as a resident. I also do see and know the concern about the traffic ending up in our neighborhood streets. In fact, my daughter's lucky to be alive right now because of the drunk driver who ran down Third Street. Almost killed actually 3 of my family members, but my daughter was actually hit by a drunk driver. So I actually have a lot of concern when it comes to our neighborhood streets. That was daytime hours on Third Street, a residential street. My daughter was mowed down by a drunk driver. So these are concerns for us, the residents. And for me, I feel like, and somebody has to fight for it, but you should block off Third Street at Ocean Park, because then people won't have a thoroughfare. So that is one of the solutions. If you have other solutions, I don't know, but that's the solution that I see. Block it off. They've done it before in other parts of Santa Monica, over by the college. It can be done. Just need to get enough signatures, make enough noise.
A Third Street isn't a thoroughfare.
Oh, it is.
Dead ends at Ocean Park.
It doesn't dead end Ocean Park because you go right out onto Ocean Park, and that's what that drunk driver did after she hit my daughter. And the only reason she got caught is because she hit
Not dead
somebody
end,
else.
but it terminates them. It's not a thoroughfare, that's all.
Well, I mean, you can get out.
Yeah.
You go right down 30 and you go Ocean Park.
By the
so
way, these aren't here
it's not
right
a
now.
dead end.
Something they've said multiple times at these meetings, which I'm going to reinforce, is anytime you see someone do something illegal, report it. You may think it goes into the abyss when you report something because they don't respond, because it's like someone's speeding and they can't address it later. But they've said, when they get a lot of pings, for calls in a certain area, they send more people there, they send more resources, they put up more cameras. So always report stuff that you see that is illegal, because it actually does count towards the job.
Sorry, is that the 311 number?
911, police non-emergency, whatever you think is the appropriate number to.
So,
call.
let me just,
Question.
I was just gonna put some organization around what we've talked about to this point. So, Carla talked about the pilot event that's coming. That is gonna happen. It's on the calendar. That is a single event. There was new concern that I hadn't heard about how the Victorian was leased. I feel like that's a separate topic, although it is kind of a forcing factor for putting the farmer's market on the street. There was, a proposal as to like kind of thinking about how this could go long term in terms of taking it broader. And then we definitely heard some concerns about people that were worried about what this would mean for traffic. So that is something that we've talked about, and I felt like we kind of like made something that wasn't going to be a problem for other events. But I guess what you guys are saying is that if it happens more, that this would be something that would need to be thought
We
about.
don't even wanna, I mean, I'm saying we, I speak for myself, and when you speak we, I think you're.
I didn't say we,
speaking for
I
people.
literally was recapping what was discussed, but I'm glad that you said that, and I appreciate, you know, like, I will make sure that I'm neutral.
When you went before the city manager, did you represent OPA?
Yes, that's what we wanted,
Three
the open
people
main streets.
were representing OPA.
So,
I think
we
you-
have two more hands. Did I miss
That
something?
doesn't represent OPA, it's you three
Okay.
that are leading this.
Yeah.
So
Board.
I actually lived on Main Street for 22 years, and I really want to say that I love the farmer's market, and supporting the farmer's market is just a great thing to do as a neighbor. And also the businesses, I've only shopped on Amazon once because I'm committed to buying locally. So supporting the businesses, closing the street, do have events and generate, foot traffic and an interaction, considering that what we're competing against is everybody staying home and shopping on Amazon. In order to keep the businesses and restaurants open and running, we really use your support, and we appreciate you as our neighbors doing that, on the few occasions that we do that. So we really appreciate your participation.
Thanks for adding that. We have, I think, one
For those of
more.
you that don't know Anthony, he's president of the Main Street Merchants Association, he's responsible for the shopping cart trade.
And 33 years of building the shopping cart tree, and I love that it's at the Heritage Museum now.
Yep.
Even though I missed it being at Edgemont.
Was there one more new hand? I might have missed it, but, okay. Oh, yeah, Francis?
I guess I'm just going to add a comment. First of all, I was going to have a question, which is what do the merchants think? And if the merchants are happy, then I'm happy, because we all benefit the merchants happy. But also, I just do want to add some context as people discuss this. We've been devoted farmers market attendees. Me and my husband, we actually met after we met at the farmers market, and we have seen it go into decline. And we've been very sad to see the farmers market actually lose its own. So if this removing it out of the street is going to give it back its mojo, that's going to be a good thing. As promoting traffic, I don't know about all of you, but we are Ocean Park residents, we live on Highland. We noticed the traffic change with the advent of GPS. When GPS gave, or Waze, when Waze appeared, that's when traffic changed. That's when our street became a highway. So I'm not sure about this issue of whether the moving the market down on the street can affect traffic. I feel like there was already a fundamental change in traffic patterns. And then the other context was that Victorian and this new news about people's feeling annoyed about how the buses work. I have no idea how the buses work, but all I know is
that the Victorian also has changed over the last few years. We used to go to the farmers market, sit at the Victorian with our friends. They didn't ask you to buy food. But we did, but it was great. It was relaxed, and then little by little, the walls started going up. Little by little, it became this kind of private, more and more privatized sort of place. So I'm not, I feel like Victorian already changed. It already became off limits. So I'm not really sure what the difference is between what the Victorian is now, which isn't a welcoming place unless you bought your ticket and you're 23, you go. So anyway, I think we have to take into account the sort of changes that were already happening and look at what this new changes within that context, because it sounds like it's positive.
Thank you. Oh, good. So I think that's helpful to kind of round out the conversation. What I think we should do is figure out, personally, as a board member, I think we should try to figure out a way to support the farmers market in this pilot event. So largely probably marketing support. If anyone has other ideas, just if anything, if it is a single event, we're getting the word out about it. If anybody wants to take a lead in terms of how the Victorian was leased up, I would, support a group forming in that way. Does somebody want to do that? I don't know. Mark, you sounded, I don't want to put you on the spot. Is that, does anybody feel like they want to dig further on that? Okay.
Can you say it again, what you want?
I'm just trying to figure out if the board, right, should be trying to organize around these things that the residents just articulated. So I'm trying to make sure that all of our.
The residents what?
And you don't have to be a board member to ask for it.
So
you're passionate about and you want to dig into it.
If you don't, no big deal. And then so the other thing is, if there's people that want to be part of, we'll definitely keep everyone in this room in the loop as the farmers market evolves, right? And if the discussion becomes longer term, which I have been supporting, I'll be transparent about that. That's not, I like when everybody comes together on Main Street personally. But, if there's more kind of things to be thought about, such as traffic, let's make sure we have those conversations. And if someone kind of wants to lead that effort, let's do it. So.
Well, you guys were already considering that when you closed up, when you're pushing to the city manager, close off the street, that's incorporated with traffic. Which means congestion, or going through the neighborhoods, you're already in that direction.
Yeah, and then, so I'm saying, did we go too far? I'm asking the question.
When you went too far, you also represented OPA.
All right.
3 people.
Let's move on. If anybody decides, go ahead.
It does seem to me that whole business of the Heritage Museum in Victoria being sort of closed up in the neighborhood, that is a kind of taking of something that has been of value to us. And so if I can find the time, I'll try and look into it a little bit more about how and why and who sort of instigated that and what was going on there. And, just kind of.
Yeah, I will say just one thing on that. Now, the Heritage Museum is still going to be the Heritage Museum. It's still accessible. Yeah, there's still
Even
access. Yeah, true. And the farmers market will have access to that lawn area. So it's not like the whole area is getting walled off from us. And we're supposed to get certain things that are in the lease, like still access to the bathrooms. And, so there are things that are, and we're supposed to still have access to storage on site, and different things are still, in that lease being put into place. So hopefully all of that is nice and goes through.
We need to move on.
I agree with that. Yeah, we have one last comment. Okay,
Have the price.
well, okay, you have one last.
So, just a reminder that the Main Street parking lots are part of the housing element, they're all going to, at some point, probably be housing, I don't know if you guys remember that, that's something that we can't forget either. We just don't talk about it because we can't try to quiet it down, so don't forget. Thank you.
Yeah. Is it Gary? Is that your name?
Joe.
Joe. The one thing that we don't have this month, and this would be kind of like, I don't know, if it interests you. We do have a Main Street merchant that kind of like says hello and tells a little bit about their story. I don't know how long you've been on Main Street. If you want to share that with the group for.
Been on Main Street since August 4th, 1987, at 6:40 Joe's Main Street Diner.
Okay, so you started as that,
Yeah.
and then what's the story?
Donor shop across the street, next door to Holy Guacamole, where groundwork is.
Okay,
I built Cowabunga Republic, which is now heavy handed. And I have Holy Guacamole, but now Holy Guacamole is all I have left. I'm sorry.
thank you. That's awesome. We're so happy to have you. I mean, it sounds like you've been, do you live in the area as well?
Well, the farmer's market was brought to me, brought to Main Street by me and Brandon McNeil as heads of the Main Street Merchants Association about 1989. Does that sound about right? Brandon had Skims, which was where Bike Attack is now. I can name a ghost in every storefront on Main Street, too, right? Right, Judy? And it's just like, and so if you want memory about things that were said by the economic development department and things like that, that were said, like when other people were working there, deals they made with, you want history, me and Judy.
Well, and you should be working with Mark Gorman about the history of everything.
I spoke to Mark earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you take a vote?
He's doing a
Why don't you take a vote, how many people want to close off Main Street for the farmer's market?
We'll get there when it's happening on the 23rd, but thank you so much for sharing that. And, yeah, we welcome you anytime. Thanks so much.
Yeah, Mr. Gorman is writing an article on Pinkwood. Is that right? Yeah.
If anyone hasn't subscribed to the Street Scene, it's pretty good content. Give it a look. All right, so we gotta keep moving. I think, Jeff, you wanna come to the front of the room? You don't have your hat on today.
Okay, by a show of hands, who went to the parade? Great. I'm just kind of curious if you like the way the direction has changed.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No.
So about a week and a half, 2 weeks before the parade, the city called me, wanted to turn it around to activate Congress Park. And a lot of people don't know where it is, so they've never been in it. So I was pleasantly surprised because at the end of the parade, the place filled up. They had a band, had a DJ, they had a little bar set up there, they had children's games. And it was pretty amazing. That many people showed up. And I had that idea years ago, and we tried to do it a few years ago. And it didn't work because as soon as people got to Pico, the cops chased everybody away. But now they were motivated to get people into the park. And I was a skeptic at first, but I gotta tell you, it was really nice. The idea came from, they had the solstice parade there. As the last float passed, everybody piled into the street and they followed the parade down to their park. And I said that would be great if people knew where Congo Park was.
Jim, I have to say something about the starting point. The starting point was so big that people were parking over there at the one end and then have to walk like full block to come in and check in. And some of them, were not doing that well. Children were all over the place. It was too big an area for what we do.
Yeah.
Having been there,
So I think in the next, maybe even this week, the police and traffic control can be meeting with us to talk about the good and the bad issues like that, because, yeah, it was pretty chaotic. If anybody was been at the beginning of the parade set up on Main Street, it's always chaos. It's chaos in front of City Hall when it's set up. You know,
Less chaos.
and that's it. That's right, that's
Where did you stage?
the station at the beach and went back to the city.
At the beach parking lot.
Yes.
Parking.
Up Bernard and down there, right? Yeah. So it should work pretty well.
Well, yeah, it worked, you know, the people standing on Main Street see the parade and it's great. I don't think anybody cares which way it goes. You know, the parade, you watch from down the street, you turn one way, you turn the other way. The real issues or challenges are where it starts. Where it ended this year was fine, you know, the musicians go back to the beach lot, they weren't going to the picnic, you know. But, yeah,
Any feedback from the bushes who stayed open?
the ones that stay open, they kill it out there, they do such a great job. I've gone up and down the street trying to convince merchants to stay open, and a lot of them say we're not open on the holiday, you know, it's 4th of July. Corporate office says we're not, and the ones that stay open, I think did really well.
I'm on a text group that was trying to get the Main Street merchants to open their shops earlier. And to, you know, take advantage of the parade. And they were really trying to do that, the merchants group. And I, you know, I was in the parade, so I didn't walk up and down the street to see who was open and who wasn't.
Yeah, I haven't seen any hard data. Anecdotally, I tried to go to Bread and Butter. It was a half-hour wait, so I left. I tried to go blue bottle. It was a 20-minute late.
Yeah,
wait, so I
right.
left. So I don't have anecdotal data like that.
The food spots that I saw were, they had a line that I had never seen before.
So you have to remember too, this was a short notice for us to do this, to be able to try to do this with the easy designation. So next year,
Right.
we have more time to plan, and I think it'll be even better for the businesses, right? There'll be more confident one.
Yeah.
And just transitioning between our previous discussion where I'm excited about seeing the farmers market go to the street and turn it into a community event. I personally was excited to see it end at City Hall in Tonga because I hope to turn that into a big 4th of July community event. Where it's not just a parade for 90 minutes. It's Santa Monica's 4th of July celebration.
For all day,
For all.
yeah.
The Stonebrook Park end was total boost for morale.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that was missing all these years, like, all of us loved to pray, but then it
Now
ends, and we're like, wait, we still wanna, you know. And so the Stonebrook Park thing was, it was great, it was a cherry on top, that we got to go there and.
So Jeff, how many years have you been doing this, Jeff?
I go to 20, but I hear it's 19.
Okay, so 19 years ago, you had me judge the people in the parade, right? The first one, and the thing that I've always been saying, when you promote a parade, you've got to promote the event afterwards. And I know when you have the thing at the park, I think you should have the hours long enough so that, because one thing I love to do is have like a hot dog and hamburger contest to the restaurants that are open for people to have the celebration. So there's an interactive experience with the restaurants, because I think, you know, a lot of people want to have a hamburger on 4th of July. So if you have something that they can stay there and do that, before going to the park, so there is a sense of meandering and not necessarily everybody go to the park. And I love everybody going to the park, you know, but we wanted to come back. with that hot dog and hamburger
contest.
Yeah, we want the restaurants.
How about a tofu?
Absolutely. So it's, you know, somebody who said they were gonna be here tonight, wanted to stress how much they appreciate the people, you know, eating, you know, the 4th of July at their business. Just want to take a moment, so everybody realizes that the one whose idea this was to turn the parade around was John Fletcher. Thank you, Chief. That was a brilliant idea.
Yes, you know, push-ups.
Bitch, we're gonna have tofu tacos for you on our beer.
Let's have a contest.
So, you know, for years, talking to some of the merchants and saying, you know, open doors. Like whoever owns, I do commercial real estate for a living. I know when people are going out of business before they sign a lease. Because they think it's really easy to open up a retail store. And, you know, it's funny how many people send over photos, you know, let the employees work, it's motivated, open up at 1 o'clock on the 4th of July. Said, you know, you could go down, open your door for 10 minutes, open your door before the parade starts, and have a pot of coffee and some cookies, and have somebody walk in and say, oh, I didn't even know this store was here. Like, this is cool. You give them 10% discount and they come by. You know, and that would really spur all the business, but I was surprised how many businesses stay closed. They don't open, they want to mad at people, whatever the union is on some of them, you know, the union rules or corporate rules. But you know, it's changing as more and more people show up in the streets. It's an incentive, you know, for people to start opening up their stores. You know, it's not like people are hanging out in the street like the solstice, whatever, you know, there's people moving, there's activity, and I think all the restaurants should be open, serving breakfast. I have the outside eating areas, so it's really cool. And, you know, have people eating out there, watching the parade go. Anyway, so the parade's been really successful. I think we had a really good turnout this year. It was really big. Some people think it was one of the biggest, so I was happy about that. And like I said, the people on the street, I don't think they care which way. I don't think which way the parade goes. It's really about where it ends. I think, Patty, to answer you, I think as far as starting, you know, there's probably ways to do it in a straight line instead of having, you know, 4 different rows and people trampling on each other. So you didn't get a chance to see the beginning of the parade. That's where the action is.
Is UCLA happy again?
Oh, yeah, they were ecstatic. Although UCLA, you know, they were the grand sponsor this year because they wanted to advertise Dr. Garabi, who is the head of Parkinson's medicine. And they had a lot of people walking, and the people, some were walking tight in a group, the way it should be, and the other ones were kind of like strolling down the street. So, you know, you get to those gaps in the parade, they just go on and on. You know, so you pull in, you're waiting for the next group for 20 minutes, you know. But that happens. We don't know how to control it. But overall, it went smoothly, but, you know, not going, I don't, but we haven't had any instances of volunteers. You know, we've had people complain that was 7th Street, that's too noisy. Shut that music off, but that's about it, you know. But overall, it was great. So if you haven't seen the parade, you got to see it next year.
Next year. That's funny.
And you know, the last questions or suggestions, we're open to anything. Because there's really, we can only do a few things, it's really kind of set in motion, set in ways. You know, it is what it is, so I'm really excited, it's Mayberry, I'd say. Anyway.
Way to go, Jeff. All right, so that event was one that we've had recently. I also have Solstice down here. Does anyone want to make any comments positively, negatively about Solstice?
And it was beautiful.
What is about the solstice? How does that involve?
Did you really?
There were a lot of people who came who have not been to Solstice before. And when they came to the booth, they were really excited about being there. And I hope we got a bunch of names on our list. We were trying that.
Sure,
And,
yeah, sure did.
It felt really good to be there.
Yeah, that's great.
I would like to have seen, you know, we had a good turnout from some members, but we had some issues with who was gonna be there at the beginning, and who's gonna be there at the end to help take them down. He actually had to leave. So I'd like to see whether it's board members or just people who are members, really sign up next time to help us man the booth throughout the day. And then obviously help take down canopy and get everything back downstairs to our cage. So that's one thing I'm like kind of concerned, like, oh, we can't stay here unfortunately, but I hope that it's gonna work out, but it's not still standing here on Sunday. So that's the one thing about you, we could be more, a little better at next year is making sure it's all, we have enough volunteers to do coverage for that throughout the day. You had to leave, I had to leave, so.
Right, yeah, no, it's a good point, and John hopped in at the last minute to help out.
No, thank you.
Sean.
That tent would still be up right now.
It would be.
You'd be sitting there and stuff.
Did you have something?
I needed to echo that, just we seem to struggle a lot getting people to volunteer for an hour or two at events. We really, not just board, we do need board members, but not just board members, we need community members too. If you're not able to, but you have ideas on how to help us get that, please let us know.
So I have a question, since it's my first time here, does the board have like subcommittees, I guess, right?
Yes.
So that's one of the subcommittees? The solstice?
No, that's a Main Street event, but we have a booth at it, and we just have, we need volunteers at that booth. To talk about OPA, to get people to sign up for their newsletter, to get people to sign up for membership, to talk about the neighborhood. And spoiler alert, Rodney's about to talk about our calendar of events coming up, where we have an event we're tabling at next Thursday here at the library, August 4th. At City Hall, or October 7th, or whatever day of the dog is, and we need people to spend time at the booth to engage with the community.
So,
I want
so the city has 4 events that it considers major events. Solstice, parade, it's Day of the Dog, and there's another one. Right, so those are kind of driven by the city. I would be curious, right, and the rest of them.
National Night Out.
about National Night Out?
Well, that's not the street closure event. Oh, no, that we close the street from end to end. But I would be curious, I know that one of the things that these events have is the easy designation.
As the what?
And when I was walking and asking some of the merchants, they were frustrated that they weren't really able to take advantage of that, right? There was no way to, no tables in the streets, I mean, all that sort of stuff. So I was just wondering if that was anecdotal or if that was something that you're hearing, or because it seems to me that those events could be much more dynamic than they are in terms of, what we do. Because remember, these events are really built to help merchants, right? That's what they're for. And to have sense of community. So I was just curious what you might have heard or what you thought or.
Well, just like what Carl was saying, there's like we've had a training with the city on the easy thing, and does everyone know what the easy thing is about?
No.
So it's basically because of downtown Santa Monica having this sense of changing and trying to generate traffic, there's a sense that people who drink can actually get a cup and walk on the street in a designated area that makes it, like, it's kind of like if you're gonna have a mimosa at breakfast, you can enjoy the event and have a mimosa while you walk the street and shop or, to experience the street. And so they've gone over the rules and all that kind of stuff. Several of the bars that were selling them, it had people really love the idea because then they felt like they could go out with their friends or meet somebody and they didn't have to finish their drink in the bar because it was an outdoor, experience in the street. So, and I think that some of it's just working out the kinks because it's new. We talked about having some laminated kind of like rules of engagement for people and some more signing so people are aware of it, because some people are just like even here, they just didn't know it was existing. And I think that it's just gonna keep getting better and better. And just of course, because nobody has to do it, but for the people that do participate in that, it was just the beginning of something effective. Tagging
on to that.
Yeah.
It was a sprint just to get people signed up to legally be able to do it. It was a real sprint.
Right, and by the way, we had another situation where state of the city was only gonna be half the street, because it's kind of like, and I'm like, oh my God, please stop with the half of the street stuff. And because we really want everyone, like everyone who has the opportunity to participate, this is where you get to go, and go to the circle tour that's open, newly or whatever, because it's the whole street that's participating. And we want everyone who gets to, chooses to participate to be supported in that participation.
And that's like.
Can I talk? John's already talked.
I produced the Main Street Summer Solstice Festival for the first 17 years. Gary Gordon and I did it. And it was very hard because we couldn't close the streets, so we closed the side streets, and it was very good. But this summer solstice was, for business, the worst I've ever seen. And I think that what it is there's a better
business or?
Yes, and I've got fast food to go, you would expect it to really get this traffic, but I think that what happens is that as we put the booths in the middle of the streets, people walk down the middle of the street, they don't walk between the booths and the stores, and they are seeing the stores, so we're showcasing Main Street with that kind of configuration. The fire department is gonna demand that, you know, you have that one free, that one free lane. Yeah, but I think that configuration of having booths takes people off the sidewalk.
And the follow-up house from a lot of the merchants are that was very
Look,
successful.
I want to talk.
They were grateful for the brick and mortar.
Hey, buddy, I want to talk.
Hey, please show respect for the rest of the room.
Can I talk about the subject, please?
I was just.
I think the main objective of it, for me, the main issue is you guys are talking about the businesses of Main Street which has the residue of traffic going through the neighborhoods. You're not talking about that too much, but that's my concern, and I care, these, you know, you have more and more events, you're going to, I think John mentioned 4 events, then you have the city council lady making an address this Thursday, closing off the street, and then you wanna have the farmers market take it over every Sunday. There are more and more closures on Main Street, and I think John has mentioned that long range, you wanna have it as a mall. Close off the street, let me finish, but close off the streets, you're already closing off the streets, historically, more recent than, it's never been happening in the past. So you're having more and more closures, and what's happening with the
We're actually
traffic
having less.
going through the neighborhood?
We're actually having less.
And adding to congestion. Is this what we want?
Yes.
We're actually having.
Yes. You have 2 people here directing that.
Yes.
And.
Okay, that's enough.
We've heard enough today.
Or the merchants or.
We got it. All right, was there any other, maybe we'd move on with the next event.
Without you yelling, trying
No. Hey, so the next event, Dave, how was Make Music LA on Sunday?
She doesn't have to.
Yeah, come on up, come on.
I have to show people respect. Oh, you sit down and relax, but.
All right, Dave.
Make Music was doing that music for about 5 hours.
Yes.
The first 5 music, it's well attended, the sound of the others and whatever. Well, we do it again. Yeah.
It's Adrian didn't know about the
I
event.
don't know anything about it, but I was here on.
Where was it?
There was a block 5.
On grass, lot
Grass.
between the bike path and the parking lot.
Yeah, and it was from noon to 6, basically.
Yep.
And thank goodness Tony had those 2 young people who were new, walk out a little earlier, and come in and help set up. Because otherwise we would have been.
Sean came down too.
Oh, Sean, yes.
Thank you, Sean. No, it was well attended, it actually sounded good, we had a nice diversity of music. In fact, one of the bands had a jazz band, and the drummer was the top rated high school drummer in the state.
Yeah.
He was impressing my drummer. And, so we'll do it again next year, obviously. But there was another event that adopted beach cleanup. Apparently people don't want to clean up the beach like my son did on the bridge. There's nothing like go out in the water and serve or something.
Shoot.
So it's hard to get turn out for beach cleanups.
Yeah. All right.
We have one more coming up in 2 weeks, and one next month, and we'll see how that goes in the future.
Okay, what's the date?
It's the 26th of July, the last Sunday of July, and again, the last Sunday in, August.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave, for taking the lead with those 2 events. Those are 2 things that you really like,
Yeah.
you know. Help out.
We did get a grant for making music, which came in very handy. And, when I get to going over, anyway, going over all the accounts later today, we'll talk about that.
Awesome. Yeah, and so just to echo what Sean said, that weekend, right, like we, sent out the emails trying to get people, we did the same with the parade. There is a lot of things going on these 2, as summer gets started. So I guess that's probably something we should keep in mind as we think about additional events. But always welcome people that wanna, step up and take the lead and then when they do, they need, we all need to support, right? So, we appreciate it and, let's keep having awesome events, I think, right? So,
This is gonna be smaller event wise. We have, National Night Out and really not much is in August.
yeah, let's put on to the next thing here. So the next couple of things, oh, did I miss any? Tess, did you have an event that you wanted to talk about?
We had a nice event this past Thursday. It was the first of our summer picnics. Oh, someone says they can't hear the speaker, someone online. But I'll go on in case it's just
So we can hear.
Yeah, it was a great event. It probably had like maybe 30 people or so. And nice to see such a nice collection of folks coming together. These are every other Thursday at Hotchkiss until September 3rd at 5:30 to 7:30. So everybody's welcome. Would love to see some of you all. Again, thanks for coming.
Love it. Any questions for Tess?
When is the next one? It's coming.
Not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after that, which is July 23rd.
Just as a heads up, that's at the same time as the State of the City event.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that will
Yeah,
just
it overlaps the state of the city.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
Choices.
Well, thanks for that update, and I think that's awesome. I need to get over there for one for sure. So the upcoming events, State of the City, we could start there. Next Thursday, Patty has volunteered to man the table for the beginning, right? Go ahead.
Staff, the booth, not man.
Oh, woman, okay, sorry, staff. 3:30 to 5:50, and so we do need someone for the second portion. Keep that in mind, and we also probably got to set, no, it gets for us Thursday, I think. I think it's a table and chairs. Okay, got it. So.
I'm sorry, where, I'm sorry. Where is the ground, where will it be?
City Hall.
City Hall.
No.
No,
Wait, State of the City or National Night Out?
State
of the City.
State of the City,
Main Street Library.
Main Street Library.
Right here.
From the library.
Got it, thank you.
No, I think it's like up front right here.
And the street.
Yeah.
They're closing for Motion Park.
That's great.
For the cemetery.
Yeah, we don't know where our table's gonna be anyway.
Got it.
We'll find
So check your schedules, and if you want to participate, we'd love to have you. Okay, so that's one. Then we got National Night Out. That's August 4th. We heard, right? And we also have signed up for a table for that one. And
I'll be there.
okay, and I think they give us a table, but last year didn't we bring stuff over, Sean? I think you and I.
Yeah, we bring candy, the wheel giveaways.
Okay.
So we can volunteer for that too, for that.
Oh,
We're
awesome.
unfortunately not here on the 23rd, I'm working, so otherwise, of course.
And do we need to buy a new, wheel?
We now have a stand-up one that's magically appeared.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
it appeared last year sometime, I literally don't know from where.
we'll give it a spin.
Before Thursday, we should probably get the iPad is down in storage. I suppose I could, oh, look at this. Never mind. Thank you. All right, so that's that. Anything else on National Night Out, or are we good?
I think we need to restock candy. I think we need candy for those, for both.
Okay, we still have a lot of Tootsie Rolls, but I can get that for you.
First world problems.
Yeah.
Eric, put in your request. My wife, the dentist, wants me to eat more candy. I said my wife, the dentist, wants people to eat more candy.
Do that.
Pays bills.
Also,
Sorry.
Something about Tootsie Rolls.
oh, I wanted to, talk a minute about sponsorship. And I hit the button, yes, maybe we would like to, and then I saw how much money they would like to take from us. And I don't think we need to. But who's they?
I think is it the police department?
It's a police department.
Okay.
If for $500, your name is on the board. For anything real, you're going up to 5,000.
Does anybody wanna share an opinion? or-
That's what.
I'm always the one saying we're a 501c3, we're not telling us to giving away money, but that's always my position.
Turning up would be enough. Turning up. That's what the police want us to turn up. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're giving our stuff and our time. I thought it would be, not quite as much money as they would like.
Okay, got it. Unless anyone feels strongly, I kind of agree. If anybody wants to,
Agree with what?
that we don't sponsor, that's me. Anybody else think otherwise? Alright, so then we'll just pass for now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then any other events that are coming up? We passed on, what, there was like a downtown Santa Monica event. I don't know if you guys.
That was on the 19th, something like that. That's
Oh,
It's
yeah.
coming Sunday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tony,
We're not involved, but if you're looking for something to do during the World Cup finals, they're open for 100,000 people. Not
We
exactly.
wanna get another happy hour get together in the books for August, September, October, whatever.
what if we hosted at one of Tessa's things?
That's a nice idea.
Sure.
I mean,
You can't drink in the park.
well, we're not paying for people to drink anyway, right?
Well, I like the idea of being at a location because it drives in more like interest from maybe I'm wrong, for the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Also, it's good for the venue, like maybe we could do it at they open.
oh, sure,
Right
okay.
around Maine, if that actually opens in August.
All right,
We can do it there. Anyway, but if the park works for everybody, that's great.
I just threw the idea out there. I appreciate that you've kind of organized a lot of these. If anybody has any input for Tony, feel free to.
To the park and a picnic. If we could get someplace where we could actually barbecue, like hot dogs and things, I don't know how that works. But,
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
yeah.
That's a great idea.
You know, when I talked to this about it,
For food trucks.
our first annual, if they take a real call. Says, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you?
Yeah, Tess, if you're still there, Tony's asking.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Hi, Tess. Can we do, if we do a, combine the event where we, you know, the Main Street meetup?
Of course.
Meetup. At Hotchkiss, can we, is there a barbecue or anything there? Is that, can that be done there?
Can you bring your own barbecue?
Sure, of course.
That's okay.
Okay, is that, do you know, is there a permit required for that?
What's the question? Sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing. Are you asking if we can barbecue in the park?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's allowed. But I'll look into it and double check. People have been kind of picnicking, but in terms of like actually like bringing a barbecue, I'll have to look into that. That sounds nice. I have a
Cool.
table, we could turn it into more of like a formal potluck, but again, I'll look into the actual barbecue setup.
And we would, in our park, Hawthorne Park, every summer, we had this big get together where we had, fire. Yeah, we had a big fire, but I'm thinking of the smaller, we're gonna do right now, just having
food that we could give people, that we, we have, it could be a pop-up experience. It needs a little bit of planning. With the borderline, we were doing that for 20 years, so we've been looking at that. And I had some people here who were members of that.
I started it. I did.
You did?
I did. Oh, you did? There were the two of us.
Oh, okay. Maybe my history lessons.
We got
So-
art, art contests, land arts,
Sure,
land arts
sure.
challenges.
Good idea. Good idea.
I just volunteer to bring games.
It might be a little late to try to put that together, but we could do a picnic in the park and maybe next year we could figure out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, since Tessa has it kind of figured out, maybe we
Yeah.
join that and then see where it goes. Unless, yeah. Okay, so we'll do that. Any other events that are coming up that folks are thinking about, wanting to get on the board's radar? All right. Got a bunch of events.
Are there any questions?
Do you have a question?
Oh, no, have you in the past been, representing the Main Street merchants?
Oh my
Hey,
God, Mitch.
No, that's not me. That was Anthony.
Huh?
All right, that was, I haven't worked with Main Street merchants before. Okay, so that's the events that we got coming up. Should be exciting. Hope everyone can make it. And I mean, I think it could be kind of cool to see what the state of the city thing is out here. They haven't really had it be this kind of an event, have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. All right. So there's gonna be, from what I know, that the mayor's gonna make a brief speech. And it's gonna be more of a bringing a lot of people together. And so they felt like Main Street would be the right place to do that, right? Where city staff, go ahead, John.
Yeah, so in the past, right, they do it every year, the city comes out and tells us, the state of the city, right, it's a big to do, in the past, they've always been held at the auditorium at John Adams. This year they thought they would try to do it outside, so this is the first time that they're doing it, they decided to go to short blocks. We don't really know much for.
Yeah, it used to be a relatively dry event, like think of the State of the Union that the president gives, where it was just people talking, and they're trying to do it into more of a community gathering. So we'll see.
I think about the little stage.
Next Thursday, the 23rd.
Yeah, so it'll be different, but we're all curious.
We'll all learn together.
Yeah. Okay. Any other topics other than the events that anyone wanted to raise? And then we've got Patty, but go ahead.
Would you be willing to ask the city to bring in the representatives from the 311? They have a lot of problems with it. It's a backlog and it's related to the department.
Okay.
It would be good if we got a briefing, if you're willing to ask them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for
A great suggestion for
folks.
Yeah.
And also, I thought I saw that the city was gonna look at the Waymos. Do you know anything about that?
I've been reading the articles, but that's all I'm.
Because the Waymos are definitely impacting us, Ocean Park.
Okay,
So I don't know if we get involved or want to see what's going on or.
sure. Yeah, when you say they're impacting us, what's the impact that you're seeing?
So all of the Waymos from Venice,
Yeah,
from the Venice Beach, and I assume you can't control where people go, all come to Navy Street to use the intersection at Navy and Longfellow instead of Rose. So there's a backup, a constant backup on Navy Street of Waymos. Yeah, and they go all night long.
sure.
Yeah,
It's been counting them.
Oh, yeah.
It's up to 100
That probably goes back to what Francis was talking about earlier, that it's a GPS issue, right?
Well, not tonight's movie, but finally the farmers market, how the whole traffic has changed. Probably 150 rate for the state is going to be. They're 100 for roads.
Okay, all right. Yes, good idea. Two good ideas. We'll get those. Patty, you're up. Patty's got
Two things I really would like to talk, now, if you are, I'm doing,
organization money, treasurer's report. If you are interested in how our money is used, you can stay. If not, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna start off, if we remember, in April, May, we were allowed to, go for a grant, the neighborhood organization grant was out there, and there was a lot of hoo-ha about what we were supposed to do to get the grant, but then it all settled down. So we applied for the grant at the end of April for a period of time that was August 1st to June 30th. June 30th happened just, a few weeks after we got the money, so it made it really interesting for me to try to get all this stuff together. We got $7,802 from the city, yes.
So it was a one-time payment for the year. But we know that there's fewer neighborhood groups, so we should be getting more money. Do you have any idea what the dispersal program
Yes.
is for that?
They counted their households,
Right.
and we had households that gave us $7,800.
Oh, so that's the new number.
That's the new number.
Oh, okay.
And we got more money than anybody else because we had more. And then some of them were in the 4,000 and 5,000. Especially if they were all one.
So they just did it once for the year.
Yeah.
I was always wondering, because there could be a new neighborhood group going on here now, where's the money?
I think the city didn't distribute the entire 49,000, I think it was up to 49,000, and they're just keeping whatever doesn't get.
Oh, okay, that's even better.
I think
Yeah,
that.
well, more or less, but they were doing it according
Oh, yeah, that
to
makes sense.
households. And I think 3 of the neighborhood organizations would not do it because they wanted to have their C4s.
Yeah, that's, so there's 4 of us.
Can I ask you, how many members do we have here?
Yeah, well, members, we have 387.
How much you have a total, I asked you earlier, but I forgot. A total, how much the Main Street merchants
It's over $3,000.
total?
Yeah. It doesn't, and the city has been giving us money every year.
That's not
She's
each.
just going into our presentation here.
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, that's,
Not each, but total for Main Street merchants.
yeah, not each. Now, some of them, there are business, memberships, a $50 membership for the year, 100 and 250. And then there's a diamond where some guy is doing 1,000. And,
You got about 3,000.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay, so let's go to the second page first.
Okay,
Yeah. Is that
this one?
yeah, okay, so here we have the grant. It took me a few days to go through everything, starting first of last August, to see if I could get things that I could give them to go for our closeout. So this is how I would divided it up. A was the officer and director insurance. Insurance is necessary for the city, and that is $2,114. Believe it or not, it's been the same amount for the past 3 years. So I'm not worried about it. Then we went for items for social events, branded giveaways. We had sunscreen, sunglasses, tote bags, magnet chips, all of that came to a total of $1,630. A storage area for downstairs, on Main Street was for 3 quarters. It's $525 a quarter. I had 3 quarters that I could show, and we keep our things there. It's important to have the storage area to keep what you have. And the quarterly mixers and holiday party, I took about $1,208 because I have to have paperwork for everything.
that I'm giving them, and if I don't have the paperwork, well. Monthly board meeting refreshments, $702. And that's about that's about 9 months of refreshments. And then the Beehive, they didn't want to see a whole lot of the website stuff. So Beehive, the Zoom, the Postal Service, $581. Now, if you bring it up a little bit, you'll see the total was $78.10. They gave us $78.02. I don't have to write them any checks to give them money back. So I just wanted you to know what it would entail to keep that money in our little bank. But you don't keep it, we spend it, and this is how we spend some of the money.
How much money do we bring in total?
Well, it depends. In a minute, you're gonna see my general account for the second quarter. You'll get an idea where we're standing right now. So I need to have you guys, board people, tell me whether or not I should turn this into.
Sure. Why not? Is there anything you're concerned about?
No, but you guys.
You need to vote, motion to.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All in favor. Thank you.
Patty, are you in favor?
Oh my God. Get rid of this. It was fun. David
Thank you.
heard me going over and over and over again. But
Thank you for doing the most fun work of doing this.
Okay, now, we're taking a look at the second quarter. Now, the second quarter, actually, we're taking a look, first of all, at April. Now we see all of the different things, the debits, wild apricot is $318 a month. I know it's expensive, but I know exactly how to use it, and it makes me happy, but that's, we have the Stripe. I never know exactly what Stripe is from, but it is appearing from Beehive, right?
Yep.
So whatever is making it come, fine. Refreshments are over, and you see the quarterly payment there. We took in $1,176 from membership and donations. So what we did do basically is starting out with $13,000. That's good, and we ended up with 1,888. That's April. So April was a positive month. We took in a lot more money than we spent. Now here we're looking at income again. This is May. In May we had the transfer Beehive. Again, it's a surprise where the money came from. Stripe is $250. We're getting quite a bit of money from Beehive and Stripe. Deposit, that's spelled wrong, I have to fix that. And again, our PayPal transfer was $394, but this is where we got our neighborhood organizational grant. So again, we took in much more money than we spent. We now are up to $25,645 in the bank. So let's go back down again. Now, as I once told you, we do have a savings account with about $4,000 in it, $4,400. We don't need to have a savings account. I'm just old fashioned and think it's a good idea, but if we don't want it, that's fine. Now, here is where we get the grant for Make Music. The Make Music grant was $1,165 to be spent on Make Music. And I did my best to spend every single penny of it on that thing. It says it's supposed to be free music. I don't believe it's free for the people who are doing it. To me, I would like to pay them because they have come out to give free music to everyone else. Don't pay them a lot, just like not as much as you pay yours. We also have refreshments at Make Music. We have to make paperwork, we have, posters, you know, flyers, a lot of things go in, and yes, I managed very well, nicely to get rid of just about all the money. So if this, here, I highlighted it, so you know that the Make Music grant money didn't really go into anything that was otherwise open. But we can see that we have, again, well, this time we have an income that's slightly less. I know, it's so exciting.
What?
Okay, and so at the end of June, we had $24,982.
And that's before the savings or with the savings?
The savings is right here, the savings.
Oh, it's the blue.
It's the
Got
blue.
it, got it, okay.
So we have 20,497 plus the 4,400. So that's that quarter. So we're doing okay. We're doing okay, but that is because we took the grant. That really does help us, and it allows us to get other things and to move forward in some other areas. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Kathy.
I do.
All the work.
She was asking for questions.
Well, you can still thank me. It's okay.
So, is there, let's say net and gross, you know, like, how much are we, you have your expenses, and is there any money left over?
Well, this is the reason why I have it set up the way it is. There's the expense. These are all the expenses
On the right.
on the right. I do not take a penny,
No, I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
and that's all the income. So,
Expense columns in these.
yeah, it's the one that says expense.
Yeah.
And that's every single dollar that we spend is there.
Yes, thanks for the question, but that was well done, Patty. We
Thank you.
very much appreciate it. And honestly, like, I wonder if we like should be starting to, you know, like, I don't know. Whether it's the National Night Out or we should be contributing to the Main Street Business Improvement Association. You don't think so? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, we were gonna do the Santa event, remember, at the end of the year. And it might not be a bad idea to cut the check now so that it's, you know,
The Santa.
Doesn't have against in Q4.
I don't know. What I think is that we're sitting on some cash and we should do something that,
Well, you know, we have the cash now. But the money is going to go down because that $7,800 is gone.
It's gonna be gone.
It is gone. I've already shown how it's spent. So we're going to be, by the time we get there, we'll probably be about $1,400 to $1,500.
okay.
Yeah, and I mean, it depends. If you want to make some, I'm very happy if you want to make some donations.
I don't mean it like that. I mean, I was just saying, like, if we're saying no for a couple, you know, $500, then.
If you want, honestly, if you want.
No, I think we're good.
Donation for $500, I'm fine.
But I don't think it makes sense to do it to the police personally, but, that's good to know. It's good.
But
Thank you for that.
Santa Claus,
Yeah.
We should have an upcoming meeting to discuss wish lists and priorities on how money's getting spent. That's specific. Like, what are we gonna do with the money? Spend some time and research it, like.
well, actually, we have nice.
Sponsorships,
Yeah.
you know, arts, whatever.
Right, yeah, I'm not just like willy-nilly saying, let's spend money. I'm just saying, like, we got some money, like.
So, so speaking of spending money, we got about 7 minutes left, and we do have 2 expenditure items we do need to discuss.
Okay.
Tony, you had your hand up.
Only one comment is about spending money, maybe towards events that are about membership drives, bring in
Yes,
more members.
I like it.
See, you have to remember, our membership is $10, $20, and $30 for
Right,
a year. Now, nobody else has membership like that.
right. Oh, did we have two expenditure items that you wanted to? Okay,
Now a good time? One, website stuff. So I know Patty loves what's the one name? Wild Apricot. We've got Wild Apricot and we've got Beehive. We're paying for two websites. And I think I really believe strongly we need to get it down to one, or at least make a good faith effort to try to get down to one that solves both our problems. Despite my best efforts to route people to the old site to get people to sign up, they're not doing that. We're still getting more people on the new site signing up. I just learned when I went into the system today, we have, 2 weeks ago, we got a new business silver member that we don't know about. We have a couple other paid members that we don't know about. Like, we've got to figure out, I think they have to come together. Or we're just.
If there's a way that I could see
Yeah,
that.
so what I wanna do, I wanna propose is if you would source the potential consultant to see if they can program Beehive to solve both our problems. I want the board to vote on expenditure up to, you tell me how much we need to do to try and get to solve that problem.
yeah, I sent it around to the board, I think it was 1,000, right?
I think you said 750.
Was it, okay, 750, yes, then it was 750. That's right,
So I propose a motion that we approve an expenditure of up to $750, hire a consultant to try and get down to one website to serve our purposes.
Second.
There should be some criteria we're doing.
I sent it to the board, you know,
Second that.
Thing is,
Third.
hey, just a
I
moment,
second John second.
just a moment. I don't mind if we have Beehive. Beehive is basically right now your newsletter. And it didn't work very well as being, a membership.
Right, but that's because we had schlubs like me and Robbie trying to program it, and we're not programmed. That's why I want to hire
Right, I
consultants.
understand that, but is there a way that we can program it so we can keep the wild apricot that does everything I wanted to do? And you should want it to do, and just allow me or whoever is doing this to see what is going on in Beehive.
I think as an executive committee, we could figure out what we direct the consultant to do, as long as we
Okay.
have approval to spend the money, let's have an exec meeting about
Because-
that.
We could still have two things.
I think it's a waste of money, but that's me.
You can always
I'm
find.
one person, one vote. Not my.
I like the idea of taking the vote though,
Yeah.
so.
I don't know how much time in $750 buys.
We actually did it based on activities that would get done, so like it was a list of solving the things, so it's not like,
He's willing to do it for $750.
yeah.
Maybe even less. God bless India.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take the vote.
I
Well, what
motioned, I heard multiple seconds.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, I see 1, 2, 3, I think we have to count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was that anybody else out in the hall?
John's in the hall.
Yeah, he said he.
Oh, Jeff.
John and Jeff are in the hall. Do we need to bring him back?
Yeah, I think we gotta just get votes.
John, I need you to control.
All right, yes, okay, so we have all those in favor of this, we had 1, 2,
Yes.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have 6, and then opposed. Okay, we've got 1.
Nobody online, and then abstaining.
Oh, Judy, you're abstaining? Okay,
I'm abstaining.
okay, is that a quorum?
But if we have four is 8 people.
Yeah, it's not 8 yes votes, it's 8 people vote.
Yeah, 8 people voted.
Yeah, thing is essentially no vote.
You wanna wait for Jeff to come back?
Okay, well, it sounds like we got it. Okay, so we'll move forward with this.
And then we'll figure out as executive debate on The other expenditure item, I know we're almost at time, is the city is going to be asking neighborhood organizations and business districts to participate in some pooling of resources available for various events. The main item on that's on sort of the ask list in the near term is water barriers. For street closures, and they need water barriers for the August 23rd farmers market street closure event. As there's a meeting coming up Thursday with neighborhood association and bid leaders to talk about a variety of things. This is gonna be one of them. I don't have a specific dollar amount. I don't know if we want to approve up to, up to $250 or whatever, the match, other neighborhood organizations, whatever. But the idea is have some pooled resources that are available for events throughout the city. That the city doesn't have budget for right now.
I think that there would be some benefit to having those. So anybody want to talk about it, or do we vote on it?
Yeah, I think we should throw a little money in up front, and I will do what I can to get the city to get interest. They can come up with $500,000 for a quote.
I agree. When we had this conversation, I was like, really, but whatever. So I guess the motion is to approve up to $250 towards these pooled resources, as long as at least 3 other organizations also step up to do it.
Second.
All those in favor, vote aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right.
Done.
Thank you, Sean, for getting those votes on the record. Any other comments? Otherwise, I think we need to approve minutes.
The last item, by the way,
Yeah.
the ghost new business member is the thrift shop, the St. Matthew's thrift shop, going as a silver member. So if you're wandering in there by there, say thank you to that.
Cool.
$100. This St. Matthew's. So.
Awesome. All right, we need someone to approve the minutes from June. I don't think those have been marked up though. They were the AI. Dave had one thing that he spotted. Maybe we wait till next meeting unless anybody saw them.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that just means we need someone to adjourn.
Second, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second. Ian might have got that one. Ian had it. All right. I might take him. Thanks, everyone.